Because this is the story that just doesn't go away. It's been looming over Washington and President Trump for much of this summer. Now it's moving in the direction of another president, former President Bill Clinton. Lawmakers there in the House of Representatives have issued subpoenas to a whole host of high-profile people, none more high-profile than Bill and Hillary Clinton. Clearly, that would be a huge deal. People would be poring over every single word. Bill Clinton had ties to Epstein in the early 2000s, but he's on record saying that he regretted ever meeting Epstein and never visited that notorious private island. Also facing subpoenas, by the way, are several former FBI directors and attorney generals under both Democrats and Republicans. But it is worth pointing out that given how many questions that have been for President Trump about his own ties to Jeffrey Epstein, now here we have a Republican-led committee drawing Bill Clinton and the Democrats into what has been a very difficult issue for President Trump.
And what about the Epstein files themselves, Kieran?
Well, there are thousands, Matt, of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein that have not been released. The same committee has subpoenaed the Trump administration for documents relating to the Department of Justice's investigations into Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, who was jailed for 20 years for helping him with his crimes, just moved, by the way, to a minimum security prison and has been talking to the Department of Justice. But it is all proving a bit tricky for President Trump because, of course, his supporters were among the loudest voices calling for the release of the Epstein files, none other than J.D. Vance, now the vice president, in the run-up to the election, the years before the election, and Donald Trump Jr. And while the Trump administration has moved to release some files, grand jury transcripts, for example, for many of Donald Trump's most loyal supporters, that is nowhere near enough.